Alrighty, welcome you guys to our Sunday Gamers Therapy Show. We have a topic today because I know it's on a lot of people's minds. And so, for those of you on the podcast, we're going to do it slightly different when you hear this. It's going to be more, we'll try to kind of just cover this topic. We will see how it goes. And there'll be I got a little idea for some questions and things like that. So, we really are grateful for you guys. Thank you to all the new members who have joined us recently. It's our anniversary today, and I know a lot of people today are out with their moms having a good day, and so we're just here to chit chat and well, we hope everybody's having a good day. I would like to, before we get started, as gamers, most of us love coffee or tea. We love pets. So I'm going to, got to find where to do this at, right there. Moved around me. So first I'd like to share this with you here. Food for Farmers. This is it's a charity that we really, really support. These people are hardworking people. They're coffee farmers in other parts of the world. They're already working. They're already trying to support their family. And we support this group. This is a legit organization. We ask that you go check it out. They have a little About Us tab up there that you can look at. If you feel like you want to donate, you can. But we enjoy our coffee, so we enjoy these people's hard work to get it to us here. And we just want to give them a shout out, okay? So foodforfarmers.org. It's really good. The next one that I'm going to share with you is we all have animals, right? So this is the East Texas Hoof and Paw. They are into animal rescue. They help all sorts of animals, not just cats and dogs. Most of us gamers have animals. I know I love my dog. So I just kind of like to share with you guys what it is that Gamers of Coffee likes to back. Now, to get on with this show today, this is a little different show. So a lot of people have been talking about tariffs. So I did a lot of research in the last couple days, including today. Today's my and Ashley's anniversary. We kind of rented a cabin Friday night and Saturday. So we just got back into town today. So a lot of this research is today too. Now, with that being said, this is non-political. It's not about who's right or wrong. It's just, hey, what's going to happen with gaming and tariffs? So I'll share a little bit there with you guys, but we're not going to bring in any politics. That's not what we're here for. We're just going to kind of go over it because we're not here to blame anybody in particular or any government or any country. It's just, as gamers, it's going to affect us. A lot of gamers have been talking about in the community. So this time, we just kind of wanted to have a topic we were going to discuss. I did some things I'd like to share with you. So in case you don't know, you know. Then maybe just get your guys' opinion on a few things too. But like I said, we don't support one side or the other, one country or another. We're just gamers. We support gamers, man. And tariffs are nothing new. So, hey, Charles, how are you? We're glad that you're here, sir. See, today we have a little bit of a subject. So I just was going to touch on nothing. Well, I was going to touch on just the tariffs. We could talk about other things, but I notice a lot of people aren't sure what tariffs are. So Greg's got a bunch of things here. So tariffs, just for those who aren't sure, they're taxes placed on imported goods by a country's government. When the goods are brought into that country from another, tariffs are collected, typically as a percentage of the imported goods value. The purpose of tariffs can be to generate revenue for a government or protect their domestic industries from foreign competition or to exert diplomatic pressure on other countries. So that's what a tariff is. Oh, hey, Telemachus. Hide my material. You clone my material like everyone else does. Oh, cool. Hopefully someone can call me so I can get a day off.
Nope, you don't get
that. But I'm glad you're here, Telemachus. See, today we have a topic, right? We generally don't have topics. We generally just, but this has become such a big thing, and I've seen a whole bunch of just things going on. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to. We're all gamers, so whatever these countries do, and there's multiple ones involved in all this. It affects us as gamers, and so again, and I'll say it repeatedly. This isn't a political podcast by any means. We're into gaming. These tariffs affect our gaming. So, this kind of did an overview of what tariffs are, how they work. Tariffs are set up by a country's government. They're usually collected by customs authorities at a border when goods enter the country. For instance, like we talked about the week before, there's tariffs on our exports. Every country, when they send something somewhere, it doesn't matter. When it gets to the destination at the other country, ports, there's tariffs involved. This is kind of the way it is. They're generally calculated on a percentage of the value of the goods. As far as impacting businesses, the business that the import goods are there for, they have to pay that tariffs. Yeah, Charles, we're going to talk about that, so hang around. That what you just said there about you don't plan on ordering anything from overseas, your things can be canceled. Sure, I get that. That's why I kind of got a couple things. I just was letting people know what tariffs are, how they work. And so passing on the cost. Now, obviously, when a business in any country has to pay tariffs on goods that are coming in, then they're going to have to, pass that on. Now, this has been going on for centuries. This is nothing new. It's just, there's a whole lot of misinformation out there, Telemachus. And that's why I wanted to do this today is, again, it's not about politics. It's not about any particular government or any particular administration. It's just chit-chatting with gamers who are also concerned because the nutshell is, hey, things are going to go up, right? But getting back to how they work, I mean, these increased costs, they're overall the imported goods. It's going to lead to potentially higher prices. You're going to have the economic effects, though. Also, sometimes tariffs protect that country, individual, domestic products to make them more competitive. It's obviously revenue generation. All the countries participate in that. And it can also be used as a trade barrier, So basically, tariffs are just a tax that affect the cost of importing goods that impact businesses, consumers, and trade relationships between countries. So tariffs, they've gone back for quite a bit. I kind of looked into that. So tariffs have been used for centuries as a tool for trade regulation and revenue generation. Their usage dates back to ancient times with examples found in Greece and Rome. Rome was, literally started a lot of stuff. They fell apart if you look back at their history because they just kind of rotted from the inside out. You know what I mean? And Telemachus, there's a lot of misinformation for self-serving opportunities. In this case, I'm getting you what I found. Lots of information I've found. And it's just the facts. It's not for any particular purpose other than us as gamers, man. If gamers don't know what's going on, then how are they going to deal with it, right? So that's why I said it's not a political thing. It's just these kind of things are going on. And some people honestly think that it's something new, but tariffs, again, they go back to Greece and Rome. Tariffs always. So there's a site called, Shapiro.com, it says. So they were looking at that tariffs were used in Greece and Rome to regulate commerce and collect revenue. They also served as a foundation for trade systems later and to ensure that the royal treasuries were stocked. So from a global perspective, tariffs have been used worldwide for centuries with multiple and almost all nations employing them for various economic and political reasons, right? So right now, tariffs have a history, for a long time, and it's a revenue generating measure. Now, what's that going to do for us? I did some research for us, you guys, for tabletop gaming, for video gaming, and for 3D printing, because everybody can guess in the long term this or this or this might go up, this may not. Some things will, and but on the other hand, not necessarily for a long term, because all these businesses who are involved in making money, and right now you got two major countries duking it out. The rest are all involved in tariffs also, everywhere. But what will happen is manufacturers are already just working their way around that. You know what I'm saying? So who pays the tariffs, Telemachus? That's a question. You said the real question is, so I know you already know it. So for everyone out there, the real answer to that is me and you, wherever you live, whatever country you live in, if there's a tariff placed on an import, when it comes into dock, it's going to be assessed. Generally, they're around 10%, 8, 7, 10%. And then I noticed that there's some countries I didn't even hear of, but they run 16, 20%. So 10% is not really too bad a tariff. I mean, on $100, it's $1. So it's not like it's explosive. What gets explosive is when you're doing 120, 130%. And yes, Telemachus will kind of cover that too. I think the whole situation, even though historically tariffs have been there for a few thousand years, right now there's a lot of fear, and there's price gouging involved, even on things that are not covered, because not every single product is covered under tariffs in all countries. So obviously, so when I looked up specifically what it's going to do for tabletop gaming, and specifically what it's going to do about video gaming, and specifically what it's going to do, like Xbox owners, PlayStation owners, and 3D printing and all that. And so I just kind of wanted to spread the word with you guys. Again, I see numbers are kind of joining on my end. This is not a political discussion. We are not affiliated with any country, any political party, nothing. We're just gamers, kind of caught like everybody else is in a tug of war, and that happens often. But I just kind of wanted to cover some of what it's going to do for us in general as gamers, because there's going to be a short-term hike on some of it, obviously. But, the manufacturers are also not going to stick with countries where they get all their stuff from that's imported that's too much. They'll just go to some other country and get it made cheap, because they're in business to make money. They're not going to sit there and lose out on money. You know what I mean? So in your standard tariffs, like I said, all of us have been paying all along anyways, and nobody's ever complained. It's just now you have two entities duking it out. And so for that, it's going to cost us a little. So these tariffs are looking up exactly we're going to start with tabletop gaming first, okay? So the tariffs, hey, mini warm-up from Whataburger.
See, he's always through a drive-thru.
Dang, man, get a good burger. You know what? When we're done, we're just going to grill some hamburgers. I found a place that when we were out camping, it was just a little store, but they had some smoked beef brisket. So I'm going to chop that up, mix it with some barbecue sauce, grill a burger, and put those two together and have a barbecue brisket burger when we're done. So you enjoy your Whataburger, man. And Charles there mentioning that some things have gone up. So as of today, there are certain websites, like the commercial trades and all that. You can look at the websites. Generally, with our country, except for one, all the import tariffs are 10% on all of them. It's just this country and China, they're doing a standoff. So you got to remember, I don't think manufacturers are going to sit here and wait because neither one's budging on that, right? They just keep increasing it. So, anyways, these tariffs, the primary issue is going to be that most of your tabletop games are produced, and everyone I'm sure knows, primarily in China. So, China's reciprocal 145% tariffs on imports and things like that means literally the imports that they got for us, which were a lot of like soybean oils, things like that. It's going to cost their people a lot more money to buy, just like it's going to cost us if we buy something from them a lot more until it goes back down to where it was. Um, and so it's going to do a lot more. I'm just going to kind of break it down. I did some looking around. So, for instance, there was a Rolling Stone article too. So, one of the publishers estimates a game. Say the game. This is the example. The game generally costs $3 to produce a game in China, and now it's going to cost $5. And so that $3 game will now end up being, with the tariffs and stuff, a $20 to $25 game, which would now be sold to you for $40. So you would have normally got it for $25, but now it's going to be $40. See what I mean? So publishers then, they're going to consider shifting productions to other countries to avoid tariffs. Like I said, they're not going to sit there and lose money. They're going to move on. And that's what they were looking at with China. And that's kind of the figures I got. Or another one's $3 could be $4.62 before being shipped to the U.S. with an additional cost. Would be a $40 product. So see, generally corporations were having their games that made for $3 to $5, and then you're buying them for $60. Okay. Now it's going to cost another $40. So now normally you pay $60. Now it's going to be $100. Well, the manufacturers know that their retail base is not going to do that. So they're already looking for another country other than China to have their manufacturing done. It's like all over the internet. So it's going to put off their shifting their production, like I said, to other countries to avoid tariffs. And the smaller publishers, I said, they think the impact will be they're just going to face greater challenges in absorbing cost increases. They're going to have to reduce their operations, maybe shut down, but most are just going to relocate or move, like you guys watched Apple do. They just went to another country. They just we're not going to play this game, and they moved. They just moved it somewhere else. So, so that's how it's going to affect your tabletop gaming, your board gaming. Particularly, I know a lot of our followers are 40K followers, which is in the UK, which is interesting. The UK has a very large tariff on us. So if we export anything and they buy anything from this country, it's, I think, 25% at this point. And same with like Canada. So these countries that they're trading with, there's a couple that are just kind of always had tariffs back and forth, but now it's just bouncing. Except for, I did some looking up and I was trying to. So Games Workshop's in the UK. So, which, I mean, they're in Nottingham, England. That's where they're at. And I just looked this up a day ago. So they impose 10% on this country for imports. So to someone there, it's just going to be, 10% more than it normally would for buying from here, and vice versa, and some of that stuff. Telemachus, he's affiliated with the Free State of Antarctica. Oh yeah, it's really free. Go down there and see what happens. That is funny. Hey John, how are you? I haven't talked to you for a while, man. I'm glad you stopped by. I think you're gonna see. I mean, I had all this stuff that I researched for you guys, lots and lots of it. That I'm kind of just reading from all the professionals, because I'm not a professional. I'm not affiliated with any political party. I'm not affiliated with anything.
We're just poor.
We're poor, and these things are going to affect us. But again, I kind of think It just makes sense. You watched Apple do it. These other ones aren't going to lose out on money. They're just going to go somewhere else. So the reason you don't see Greg panicking is, honestly, I think short term, sure, so there's going to be some things spiking, but it doesn't mean that it's going to stay. Because let's face it, if you owned a business and you're used to getting your game made for $3 and selling it for 60 and just making a killing on the consumer, and the consumer is good with that price, you're not going to lose half of that and stay put. You're going to go somewhere else where you can get all that revenue back and still keep your customer base because, well, you're going to want to be in business. So for now, that's what the things were. Again, for those of you that joined there, their cost was generally $3 to $5 for a board game in China. Any of the companies, all of them. That's just roughly the cost. But you got to remember, tariffs work both ways. It's not a one-way street, right? So they're just gonna. You've already got them just moving. So for tabletop gaming, I think short term, yeah, things are going to get expensive with some of the stuff. And that's just the way the world works. Again, so I want to do a little background. Tariffs are not something that just happened last month. Tariffs have been around for thousands of years. And all countries, almost all of them have tariffs against all the others. It's how they do business, right? So Charles says some kind of deal. So when I checked this morning, just according to Global News, there are 75 countries, including ours, that have all come together and they're all negotiating for something that's fair to all of them. And these were ones that were already to begin with. I have to try to find the website, but it shows like, for instance, what countries tariffs on others. So like ours in the United States, everybody's focused on China, but that's because China and the United States are duking it out. All the rest of the tariffs are 10%. That's $1 on $100. That's nobody notices that. So that's not affecting it. But because we consume in this country so much from China, it's unreal. What this country is basically, we're just consumers. We don't produce a whole lot anymore. So that is going to affect us, but also affects them because they raised theirs too, right? So they upped it. This gets up, they up it again. But then you go look on the shipyard boards and they got all these ships sitting out there. Their products aren't going really too many places. So both these two entities need to figure it out. In the meantime, everyone else is like, hey, we're not playing that game. We're just going to work around it. So, which I'm glad to see because they're then not just sitting there. It tells me we're not going to be stuck forever with crazy stuff, We are doing well, Mr. Wise. It is our anniversary today. We just got back in town this morning. Greg spent several hours going through this stuff that I'm getting through in a few minutes. Hey, Ledford, how are you, sir? So, tabletop, that's where that's at. You're just seeing them moving around their production. You're going to see some things go up. I don't think my biggest worry, I guess, would be I think everybody, and I don't mean just in the gaming industry, there's going to be a lot of them price gouging, saying, "Oh, it's the tariffs." When not every product is tariff to begin with. It's not any and all products; it's specific products. So, I just think there's going to be price gouging, no matter what industry, you're going to have those that are going to take all the fear and they're going to run with it, and they're going to go, "Oh, this part used to cost you $200, now it costs $600. Oh, it's tariffs." Well, it's probably not on all of it because, that's just how businesses do it. Now, video games, I got 2 pages here. So 1, will video game prices be affected by tariffs? According to the Consumer Technology Association, the price of video game consoles, now this is a could, it's not a for sure, could rise 69% due to tariffs and approximately 34% on laptops. So for those of us that have console gaming, you already got your console, you're gonna be okay. But let's just say it breaks and you wanna get another console. As of this morning, I got online everywhere I checked, like Xbox, PS5 prices they're all the same. Although I did find a couple like here or there, and they've got astronomical prices, but that's not your major companies and main stuff. Um, so a Yahoo Finance article that I was reading there said video game consoles are generally not exempt from any tariffs, even though some other electronics are. Okay. Hello, if there's more people joining again, welcome. We're just gamers talking about tariffs. It's a non-political. We're not on either side. We're not for any country in particular. We're just talking about how it impacts us gamers. And for those of you who've been here since we started, I'm going to say that multiple times so that as people come through, they know we're not sitting here ranting and raving one way or another. We're just looking at how it impacts you and us because we all love the game one way or another. We video game too, so hey. So some exemptions have been made for certain electronic products like laptops and smartphones. The video game consoles and their accessories have been specifically excluded from these exemptions. So, but particularly any console, especially those manufactured in China, will face significant tariffs increase, raising the price for consumer. Other sources like Xbox, is it affected by tariffs? Tariffs, yes. But Microsoft has announced price increases for Xbox consoles, controllers, and accessories. They cite market conditions and the rising cost of development, which is partially attributed to the tariffs. It says, though, while Microsoft hasn't explicitly blamed tariffs, the price increases align with concerns about that impact on the global supply chain and cost of manufacturing. So there we go with the cost of manufacturing, okay? These companies are just already looking for other places. So the longer this goes on, the more these other countries who've been wanting to have some of this work, they're going to get it because on retail, you want to stay in business, right? You want to make your customers happy and you want to make it affordable. Otherwise, they're not going to continue to buy. So a little bit more detailed explanation. They said Microsoft raised the recommended retail prices of Xbox Series S and Series X consoles, as well as some of the accessories. The global impact of this is the price increases were not limited just to the US. They affect Europe, the UK, Australia, and other countries that receive those adjustments locally. So Microsoft is not pointing any fingers at anybody. They just mentioned wider market concerns. So, it's obviously a concern. Oh, yeah, Telemachus, you're right. So the PS5, for everybody that owns an Xbox, there's lots of you guys that game on the PS5. So I'll read to you from this. So the industry experts and news outlets have connected the price increases to tariffs, particularly those on Chinese goods, which are the common in the global supply chain for electronics. So Sony is likely to be affected by potential tariffs, probably a little more so than others. Some initial tariffs on consoles were suspended, and the possibility of future tariffs, especially if this U.S.-China trade situation worsens, is a concern. So because they're not sure what's going to happen too, a lot of them are just raising prices,
Mythos.
Hello, Mythos. We are talking about how tariffs affect us gamers, including you, but it's non-political. We're not for one side or the other. We just got back from our anniversary at the cabin. Today is our anniversary, so this is just about how it affects you guys. Oh, hey, Mythos said, "Happy Mother's Day."
I know. I've been keeping up on it.
Hey, man, I'm proud of myself. This time I researched a whole bunch of this topic, and it's just all neutral. So it's just news for you guys. There is no political bashing or anything else, because that's everyone that watches us all the time knows that's not what we're about anyways. So what?
Look at Tomakis in between after Mythos said Happy Mother's Day.
Well, brother hobbies. What about us uglies? Aw. Hey, Telemachus. That ugly screensaver thing I put up there on the camera, it helps so you guys don't have to stare at my mug. So I hope it doesn't break. I may not be able to afford another one. Depends. So impact on prices. It's expected, according to the Electronic Times, that console manufacturers like Sony are going to pass on these increased costs to consumers through higher prices. Some prices have already been observed going up, particularly in international markets. Sony is raising the price of the PS5 in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. Industry analysis warned full implementation of tariffs could lead to significant prices, making it harder and accessible for the regular consumers. Okay. So, because that's a concern and they don't know what direction it goes in, it's it's something that they're just kind of gearing up for. On a positive note, man, I found there's no tariffs generally do not directly affect the price of any downloadable DLC content or digital games. So, if the games are digital, which most of them are anymore, it's not going to affect you for the most part buying the digital games. So that's kind of I went through, like I said earlier, I don't see any higher prices on average. I made the note on this page too. There's a lot of fear mongering, political rhetoric, price gouging has started. And you got to remember, people are going to want to try to profit off of the situation. However, in short, it's just going to be a little expensive till they get themselves figured out, right? That's why I did a little background too on tariffs. It's not a new thing. It's been around since the Roman days, historically, and all countries have tariffs on each other. It's always been that way. It's just you got a fight between two now, and they're not backing down. So that doesn't mean everything's, we're all going to die and all this stuff that I see all the time. On TikTok, I see a lot of people posting that the ports are empty. But then you see the other ports are not. So, the ports, that's commerce. It's going to depend. You got on the shipboards, you could look at online, you got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ships just sitting off the coast of China, not really going anywhere. So as for us, on the other hand, those products are going to come in. So you're going to have that dip where the supplies are going to go down. People are going to take advantage of it and spike it. But you're also watching the manufacturers simply going somewhere else, right? That's what they're doing. So I don't think I think it's going to get expensive for a little bit, but it's more like kind of ride it out and just try to stay out of the insanity that all these places are going to try to use. So last I wanted to cover 3D printing because almost all of us are doing 3D printing. So yes, tariffs are going to significantly impact the 3D printing industry, particularly on us in the United States, because the tariffs imported on goods, especially from China, have increased the cost of 3D printing and materials, filament making technology more expensive and less accessible. And mostly that's due to the tariffs on the various components and materials used in the 3D printing, including their plastics, metal parts, electronics, and so on. So they did a breakdown on the increased cost. Tariffs on imports from China have led to significant increase in the price of 3D printers. So impact on the hobby, the cost of these going up obviously makes it less affordable for business and hobbyists until someone else does it cheaper. You know what I mean? So potentially it will impact the growth and adoption, they think, of 3D printing. But I don't think it's going to stop people from wanting to do 3D printing. People are just going to wait, for it to go down.
That's what Tomika says. Start saving.
Yeah. So I think, some companies right now, though, so they are reshoring and working on localized manufacturing. Companies are now looking at the possibility of reshoring production and manufacture parts to avoid the tariffs. Again, they're going to avoid it. Like the other manufacturers, like Apple. Apple's, all of its phones were in China. Like, we're not playing this game. So now they're going to India and some other places. Otherwise, Apple phones.
Just go and make it.
Apple phones are expensive anyways, but, it would be too much. So that's all these companies are doing. So in the meantime, you guys, there's going to be this up. You know what I mean? But eventually, it's not going to stay up that way, I don't think. Also, in some cases, the ability of 3D printing to enable localized manufacturing can be a solution to mitigate the impact of tariffs. So you gotta understand, some of these companies are already big time into 3D. They're just gonna start. They're just gonna start making their own parts instead of buying them. I mean, they already have the machines. So, yep. Wolf Brother Hobby says STLs won't be affected.
You keep doing that. I got them for right now.
Hey, I need to look at the chat. I put time into this.
Exactly. I got them. They're good.
So until obviously you guys, our country and China come to an agreement, which they're going to have to. Short term, it's going to get pricey for what's left because, I mean, people are going to capitalize on it too. I'm telling you, they're just going to tell you, oh yeah, it's this and this. There'll be more than what the tariffs are. They're just going to add money to it. That's what a lot of people are going to do. But we've already watched, at least globally, in the mainstream, you're already seeing companies simply doing something else. It just doesn't. It's not going to stay. These companies aren't going to continue to lose money. They're just going to do something else. I mean, that's all they're going to do. I had just kind of wanted to cover all that, you guys, because it's a whole lot, and people are actually wondering. And I'm not here to do any kind of fear mongering or anything. This is just stacks of paper, that's online. And I thought, I've seen this. Oh my God, we're not going to have tabletop games anymore. It's all going to, I don't think so. They're just, you got two entities duking it out. And it's chess. So at some point they will. But you got to remember, all the other countries aren't doing all that. There's a couple engaged in how many countries in this world? And there's 3 or so of them just kind of picking around with each other. You just go somewhere else for the manufacturing. That's a good question, John. Looks like Tulmicus is answering that though. But I just kind of wanted to run that past you guys so that don't let politics and fear mongering and excessive price gouging. You know what? Okay, so I look at it this way. So what? So if my $15 resin I can't get it right now, what happens if tomorrow it disappears? I guess I won't print anything for a little bit if it goes up to $100 a bottle. Why would I? I just wait.
We have plenty of games that we don't need to print anything.
So
I ain't too worried.
We just kind of want, in the gaming industry, this is what's affecting all of us gamers. And like I had said last week, so it affects the price of the coffee too. I mean, I'll use, everybody knows like brand names like Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, they may not know us, but in the store I was looking at yesterday, I was walking down the aisle because we have our online coffee shop. I'm looking like that bag went from $8.99 to $17. Well, why? Well, they import it, but the tariffs on coffee have gone up a little bit, but not much. It's pretty much 10% across the board. So
for the most part.
$2 to $4 a bag is what things should go up. Maybe $5, but they shouldn't be going up $10 a bag. I mean, $8. So I think some things are just going to get added to. I know on our shop, Gamers with Coffee.shop, which you should check out, man, if you haven't seen it. But our coffees have gone up on some of them, particular ones depending on the country of origin and stuff like
QR
that.
Code?
What'd you do? Oh,
there it is.
Oh, it just was off.
Somehow it got shut off. That way people can click on it or scan it and go to right to our coffee shop.
So in the short term, you guys, it's just going to get pricey. But it's not the end of everything. I mean, like I said 100 times, I see new people jump in here. If you look at what Apple did, Apple just said, nah, we're going to go to another country where we can get it just as cheap. And that's what they did. So it just doesn't benefit that. The rest of it, again, ongoing for centuries. Tariffs have been there since the Roman days. Every country has them. Every country. So that's how commerce works. You just got these two. We got to wait to see what they do. In the meantime, I'm just going to get up and go to work tomorrow because things have been getting expensive over the last few years, anyways. Before all this started, before this one main topic started. So that would be kind of what it is. So I was going to ask you guys. I had a couple questions. Audience participation, right? So is it going to? Here's my question to all of you. If you each answer, that'd be awesome. But are you going to stop buying anything in the short term because of high prices? Yes or no? And are you kind of just preparing for a little short term? Short term in politics and supply, look at what happened with COVID and the stupid toilet paper thing. It took like 5-6 months to sort it out. So, well, you guys are coming with the answer. I'll just tell you what me and Ashley have talked about. So in the meantime, we're just going to get a little extra as we can, like
we're not going to go overboard.
We're not going overboard, and it's not like, I can't live without whatever. So some things that are coming in are not going to be affected so much as others. But I will tell you this: if you're going to get something like for us, we do a lot of recording. So probably over resin and paints and everything else, I need storage. Guess where all that storage is made?
SD cards.
SD cards, external hard drives, and all that. So if I was to do anything, I would just simply get some more storage while it's still at the regular price. Because once the surpluses run out and the warehouses go down, that's when the price gouging is going to go into effect. You're just going to pay more than even what the tariffs are, because that's what a lot of them do. And Telemachus, that's a good point. Each item, it's you have to be willing to buy it. Then there's some people, some of you gamers who got the money to do it, then do it. That's great. We love this hobby, and for those of you just now listening, this is a non-political discussion of the tariffs on how it affects us gaming, video gaming, tabletop gaming, things like that. That's all we're doing. It's chit-chatting. Nobody's affiliated with anybody. We hate that kind of stuff. We're just here talking about how it works on us. So, yeah. Oh, there you go, Telemachus. So, most of the electronics. One of the people I was watching just a couple days ago, she stated anyways that she worked in imports. She's flat out said, I have nothing to sell. There's no links. I'm not giving you links to anything. I'm just telling you, I work at an import company here in the States, and here's what you better remember. There are things that we don't make, like the SD cards for your cameras and stuff. There are the external hard drives. There are keyboards and mouses we don't make. So if you were to do anything, she said, you may want to get an extra keyboard, stick it around so that you have one if yours goes out. Simple things like that, not necessarily spending tons of money, but you guys know how business and politics works all over the world. If they resolve this thing tomorrow, great. But if it takes 2 or 3 months, then it's going to be 6-8 months after that before it comes back down. You know what I mean? So it's got to be something that should just be looked at. So again, I don't encourage anyone to go do any kind of Mr. T extra hard drive. That's funny, Charles.
What? My comment didn't show up.
Minnie Warmut says, play the game you have, more than likely. We all have games sitting in the closet that have yet to be played. Yes. So the upside is, you guys, well, we've all talked about it being like a fantastic time in the miniature tabletop realm, right? Just gives you more time to finish your projects. Everybody talks about their pile of shame. I always talked about it being my pile of happiness, because on a that day I got something I could go pick up and paint. But whatever you would like to call it, you're going to have time to do that. Hello, Miniatures Paintbrush. How are you, sir? We are having a non-political, non-country, whatever. We're just talking about the tariffs in general and how they'll affect us. And things that I've looked up specifically in the last 2 days that are current. And I just wanted to let you guys know, this is by no means anything fear-mongering. This is just entertainment. This is how it's going to affect us. So I was asking you guys, what's your long-term goal? I mean, for me, the only thing I'm actually considering right now is, I got enough paints. I'm not worried about the miniatures too much or the printing stuff, but I do want to get a couple memory cards. And because I do a show regularly, I'll probably go buy a keyboard. Well, I can still get them for $20 just to have it
as a backup.
So things like that. And again, if it takes several months to iron out, you guys are right. We got games that we don't play. All of us do. We got models we haven't built yet. We got things we can do.
And not all of us have a closet full of games like Brian does.
I like how Mini Warm-Up worded that. So, Mini Warm-Up, you missed a lot of the stuff I talked about earlier, but I see quite a bit more people on my end. It's actually getting up there. Yeah, and Mini Warm-Up, that dude's been alive for a couple thousand years now, started with Rome. He literally is multi-dimensional because he lives in every country, because every country does.
Need more coffee?
No, I'm good. I got my coffee and my Food for Farmers coffee mug
I forgot to push her
that April sent me. This is pretty badass. So, true, not all have closets, and Mini Warm-Up. There's going to be people taking advantage. So just say the extra charge is $20. They're going to add $30 and say, oh, that's tariffs. They're just, the price gouging is going to happen. A miniatures paintbrush. Well, you're not the only one, sir. There's under the printer there, games, books, under the, I don't know who stuck that crazy banner there. Those are all games. Games below, games on the other shelf, games across top. We got things to play. Work harder. Yeah. I don't know, Telemachus. You better hope they don't tariff closets. To us hobbyists, that'd be expensive, huh? So yeah, there's just some things. Like I said, I think this week when I get paid, I'll go ahead and just go pick up an extra keyboard. So if this one fails, well, then I have one. But I'm not one to buy into all the rhetoric. And I look at things like, hey, manufacturers are moving to other places to avoid this, and they're simply like Apple did. So, again, for those of you joining on, I see my numbers are changing again. So they're just, I think it'll be down the road. I don't think it's what some of these channels I've seen a lot of fear. And I'm like, man, it doesn't mean like one of them was the end of tabletop gaming. It's not the end. You own a business, you're just going to go to another place where they're going to manufacture your products for what you could get. So you can turn around and sell them to your customers for what they're used to. So you can keep the profits you're used to getting, because that's what you need to live on to keep, an operation. So already you got multiple companies looking elsewhere. And that's going to be good for those local areas where they move to also. It's just going to bolster their economy. So dig a hole, bury your games, Mini Warm-Up says. No, that'll ruin them, man. Hello, Ice Wolf. Glad you could jump in here too. But anyway, as a miniatures paintbrush, I just kind of touched on tariffs and how it affects our gaming in general as gamers. And Greg even went out of his way to do a lot of research to get some legitimate stuff. And it really just it just boils down to pretty simple stuff. The neighbor's yard's going to suffer. Oh, Ashley coming back. So yeah, you guys, I don't think it's the end of gaming. Like I said, the upside is your downloadable content is not going to be affected. Ashley here has downloadable content, and
a lot of downloadable content thanks to Ice Wolf.
Yep. The only thing is, Ice Wolf, she may not be able to print all those miniatures.
Tell me when you fit on my printer.
So, anyways, you guys, thanks for letting me do that little presentation and whatnot. And hopefully, to those who are listening on the podcast, that helps you guys too. Because actually, we do have quite a bit people that listen to the podcast on other channels like Podbean and Audible and stuff like that. So, for that, you guys, hopefully, it takes some of the.
Telemachus gave you a compliment.
Oh, now you're mocking me, Ashley? Thank you, Telemachus. No, I just wanted to get some facts together, man. I've seen some other channels in our hobby, and I'm like, you guys, that's not how tariffs work. Number one, this isn't something new. Or not, number two, it's not something new. And now they're not mentioning the fact that people are rerouting their businesses and just doing it differently. Oh, so Mini Wormut said, looking back there, you were curious how indie tabletop game designers are going to do on Drive-Thru RPG or Wargamer Vault. Well, they're mostly, look at when you go there, they're mostly selling STL files. They also have the one, that Drive-Thru RPG, that's part of the one-page rules, right? Isn't it?
I think so.
I think, because that's we get emails from them. So either way, they have their Patreon, and if you look, they have a lot of members. I don't think they're going to be hurt at all, because I'm not going to stop my Patreon membership. I've gotten a lot of, nice figures for the one-page rules and stuff. I don't really think independent game designers are going to really suffer. I mean, they'll just have to look for another source. It's just by default, people will go, oh, I'm going to go to China by default. Or I'm going to go to India for this, like clothing and stuff. So by default, they're just going to have to change where they go by default and just start looking. Because you can't keep all your eggs in one basket. See, this is, you look on the media, and the media, it takes two in this fight. It's not a one country, one thing. It's both of them. It's not one. They're both equally.
Big boy panties.
Yeah, they're both
and suck
equally,
the hell up.
Both equally duking it out. And then you got some third-party countries too that were generally ones we know, but they're getting involved too. Drive-through is charging regardless. Yeah, they're going to be. I think they're going to be okay. Telemachus. I think a lot of those independent businesses, and they have PDFs. So really, they're not losing. You know what I mean? Miniature Paintbrush says, I'm going to have to pick up a resin printer before the tariffs hit.
They are nice.
Until then, I'll need someone with the resin printer. I have the upgraded sprue for the new night. Do you need someone to print that for you, sir? PDFs, Mini Wormut has become really good at that.
Printing. It's going to be the shipping.
It's funny. The PDFs, as long as they're digital, is okay. I mean, if you're going to go to print them, now it depends where those ink cartridges are made, right? Or, so that's kind of something too. But otherwise, PDFs, you can take them, and like Mini Wormut does, it just goes to Office Max or Staples or one of those, and you have them turned into books. So PDFs are nice in that regard. I would not recommend trying to do a PDF on Warhammer. It took more money almost in ink and paper than it did for me to just buy the codex.
The damn book. Yeah,
go buy the rules. So Oh, you had to log in a few times? Took you times to download the file.
There's a miniature paintbrush up in the UK.
Yeah. Shipping would be
the
problem would be the shipping. Now, it should have nothing to do with tariffs, just general shipping. Anytime I've sent something that way, or Canada.
Yeah,
oh my
both
God.
of those are.
That's
bad
seems
on
like
shipping.
It's worse. Like, I understand it being high getting from here
I'm trying
out
to
that way, but not to the country that sits on our border. It's crazy how much it cost me to send something to anybody there. Stupid. It was $54.
Yeah, I think it cost like $27 or $28 to ship all those models back to Kaiser that I painted for him.
But that was then.
That was a few years ago. He's in Maryland. Okay, never mind. So it probably shouldn't be too bad.
Oh, you're in the USA, then if we have enough resin, we'll just print them to you, print you a couple things and free. You don't got to pay, just, I don't know, whatever the cost is to ship it. If you got a model or something, let me know, because I'm going to try and pick up on Tuesday some more resin. Tuesday, Wednesday, when I get paid. It's a night. It's got to be printed in pieces. How big is it?
For the new night.
Yeah.
I have no idea how big it's going to be.
Printed in pieces. Problem. Yeah.
I mean, if they're like 28 millimeter, yeah, we wouldn't have a problem printing them.
There's enough people here in this lobby that could probably help you out too, sir, between all of us. I would just need to know how big it is, if it'll fit, or how we're going to have to print pieces. I didn't know you were in Maryland, though. That's cool. For some reason, I thought you were overseas. That's I apologize for that. But, it's
just a full size sprue. That's gonna be the problem because there's so many holes. I'm used to just STL files where they're the actual model. I mean, it's possible to still do it.
Almost anything's possible, but if you can pick up a resin printer, they're still okay now. It's going to be when the stuff kind of runs through, and then at some point it'll start getting tariffs on it, and then I'd watch out for anybody selling it on eBay and stuff like that. Probably can go through the roof. Oh, you leaving, John?
Thanks, John.
Thanks for coming by, John. Glad to hear from you, man. I hope you have a good rest of the day and evening. There you go, miniatures paintbrush. Ice Wolf's asking you what kind of night. 40K? Good question. Now I'll put all this. Look at that.
You did good, babe. You did good.
I feel like I tried. So anyways, you guys. Oh, yeah, we'll have a good anniversary. It's actually today. Today is our anniversary. So tonight, we're just going to grill some hamburgers, man.
It's okay. So out camping, we took a game with us.
Yep.
And he got his butt just whooped.
Yeah, I lost. So we recorded that. And actually, one of the other things, I've already got it all downloaded and ready to put together. So that'll be one thing I'm doing after the show.
It's a 40K tie-in.
Ugh.
I don't think my printer is big enough for that. Those are some big pieces.
If we could print it in sections, but you'd have to print.
Oh, but yeah, I'd have to try to glue those together.
You know what? Keegan's printer might do it because it's a very high quality filament printer.
Yeah, it's filament. Keegan might be able to, but yeah.
We can find out. Yeah, Ice Wolf, they're big. We don't have any, but I've seen they're pretty tall.
I'm trying to think of the tallest thing I've printed out of there.
I don't know, because you've got quite a bit of stuff you printed.
I'm trying to think.
But those are pretty big.
Oh, where's
size.
your big guy? He was printed in one piece. Cockeyed.
This one?
Yeah.
No, his legs weren't the legs separate?
Nope. He printed one piece.
It was the firearm.
It was the firearm was the only thing not printed.
So that printed one piece there.
I had to make
other
him
than
cockeyed.
his weapon.
Gun.
That was rockets on top. This whole thing was just one piece.
That's as big as I can print. And that was pushing it. I had to shrink down the main supports.
Yeah. It's pretty heavy though too.
Yeah, and he's hollowed.
Well, yeah, you don't want that solid.
Here, let me see that.
Break. So those, I don't know.
I could probably
Thank you,
print
miniature paintbrush,
about
for that.
6 inches at most.
Yeah, we don't have a huge. Ours is the Anycubic. I can't remember the model.
Mono 2.
Mono 2, so it's not a big, giant printer, but it does really high detail work, which I like. And the resin, well, for now is cheap.
Yeah, at least
So
the one that works for that one.
Might pick up a couple bottles here just to ride things out, but I'm actually more.
Don't give me a couple bottles because I have all that terrain that Ice Wolf sent us.
It's a new helmet, a gun, and a generator. The gun might fit. It's not the whole night. Okay.
I mean, you're more than welcome to set if it's STLs or PDF. I should be able to see if they fit. You can send it over to our gamerswithcoffee at Gmail, and I can try.
If you want to send it over, do that, and we'll see. Send the pieces over, and we can see if it'll fit in the slicer.
Yeah, before we even end our little video here. I mean, that's the only way I'm going to be for sure. The helmet,
I don't know.
Maybe, depending on how big the head is. But
yeah, we can take a look for you, sir. Let's see. May as well. And Try, welcome. Glad that you just got here, and Try. Thank you. We were discussing earlier, non-politically, sir or ma'am, and it's just about how the tariffs affect all of us gaming and kind of what's happening. So, and now we're talking about getting some prints done. One of the things we're going to do is try to pick up some more resin here. But we're glad that you joined. Yeah, miniature paintbrush. Just
if you want to send those over to me now,
she'll look at it.
I will try to put them in my slicer.
And Try, where are you located at? We're in Iowa, in the United States. Well, it doesn't hurt to try, right, you guys? May as well see if it'll fit, and if it can be printed, it's printed. But if not, oh well. Then we can try. But it's I think back to what we were talking about there too, like one-page rules. I mean, drive-through RPG. The fact that they're all established on Patreon and have a substantial base, and they're basically selling their their STLs. I don't think any of that's going to affect them. I don't think it'll affect them at all. And Try, what's way off?
It's 3 in the morning for him.
Oh,
so
wow.
He must be UK area.
You're 3 in the morning for you, huh?
That sounds about right. It would be somewhere in the UK.
Well, you'd have to be overseas somewhere. So where are you at? We're glad you're here. We're just curious where you're coming from. 3 in the morning. That would be, wow, that's a huge time difference. So it's 5:06 p.m. for us. Here you go, miniature paintbrush. Ashley will send it to
let me
you.
send it. There we go.
Maybe.
India.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Okay, I wasn't too far off.
They didn't send it. It won't let you.
It did send it over on the actual chat.
Oh, why didn't it show up on mine?
I don't know. There's been a couple of them that I've typed out that hasn't shown up on the actual in there.
Yeah, Ice Wolf, it's 11 o'clock for you. Well, we're glad you joined us from India there. Hopefully everything is going good for you too. We are just I don't know, trying to do gaming and be in a hobby. It's sometimes just, like now situations are just going to get a little bit annoying, I think.
Email. What the hell? Okay, hold on. Let's see.
So the email address is gamerswithcoffee@gmail.com. All run together. gamerswithcoffee@gmail.com. It's not letting you put it in because it's a link.
Well, it let me set those two, but it's just at Gmail.
Yeah. It won't let it go through all the way because I wonder if it'll let me do it because I'm the host.
You're the host. You should be able to.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, it won't let me put
What are we doing here?
See, I don't understand. It's showing up on my end because I'm up on my computer as well.
So it won't go through though. YouTube doesn't want to let it go through.
That popped up.
Well, we're glad you come by.
You're welcome.
You get some sleep, and thank you for taking the time to come in and say hi. What the heck? You're going to take off, Benny Warmut? All right.
Have a good night, Brian. Our weather today has been more hot. I think 79 as of right now.
Yeah, it's a little muggy though.
Ooh,
not bad. Oh.
Wow, it's gonna be 67 Friday, babe. That's the high.
All right, Manny Warmup, we will talk to you later. Our video is coming out tomorrow. You'll see we gamed in the cabin. We even did that. Have a good night, Brian. Yep.
See you, Brian.
Today is a busy day for everybody too, so we're just glad everybody.
Yeah, we weren't sure if we were gonna go and try to figure out to do something, or if we were gonna just say screw it and not get on here, which we did. We ended up coming and visiting with you guys.
Yeah.
So
it's all good.
Went out to get more of my tea. I went and checked. Our son's not even home yet.
You went to go get what?
I got more of my drink. My tea.
Oh. Nice. Speaking of tea, Keegan, you're going to listen at some point. Your coffee is
should be here tomorrow.
We'll be there at your house tomorrow. But well,
I said, actually, I think they are all up at his mom's right now.
I think so. He went out of town up to his mom's. He went out of town, and we got back in town.
Yeah, we just got back
this
into
morning.
town.
So
yep.
We will, like I said earlier, we'll go ahead and get that video up.
Oh, thanks, John.
Thank you, John. I'm glad you guys stopped by. It's always nice to just sit and chat with others in the hobby too, and it just, like I say at the end of the show, it makes a great ending to the day and a great beginning to my week. Because otherwise, man, it just gets to be drudgery, man. Tired of nonstop working just to scrape by, So if I was rich, it'd be all right, but that's it's nice to see everybody. Pardon me, my brain's a little bit. It's been
of course, flash sale.
Huh?
For the next 2 days, we have no money.
Of course. Who is what?
iManufacturing.
Yep. So that they got sales over there too. When you're a Patreon member, when you join that one page rules, they have a base that would make everybody a little jealous. Pretty big base of monthly subscribers. So I think the gaming industry, the hobby, will be okay as long as we don't fall into the whole worry too much trap, because it has to work itself out one way or another, and it already is at multiple levels. So
well, I mean, I got an SD card full of just STL files.
Well, that'd be the one thing we should get just for temporary, like I said, a keyboard and some resin, but I'm not gonna worry about too much else. Got plenty of games to play, plenty of things to do. Hobby wise, like today, when I get off of here, I'm gonna make some dinner. Then I'm gonna edit that. I already got the video off of our camera we recorded it with, and on the desktop here for me to edit. So that'll be out tomorrow. Cool. Miniature paintbrush says it's in it. All right. She's gonna look at it now for you, sir, and see. So I'm curious to see how big it is. That'll only take her a couple minutes to figure it out. The nice thing is the resin printers just do really good on the detail. Really good. And glad I got mine when I did. But I was pretty fortunate, man. Like I told Mythos and a few others, I got that with the bonus that I got. Literally cost me like $7-10 for the part of it I had to come up with. Otherwise, I used my work bonus for it. It's paid off. Once we got figuring out how to use it to the best of our ability, then it worked better. Oh, there you go. It's loading up now. Loading. What you putting in there now? The gun will fit.
That's only part of the gun.
Well, that'll fit. It's in sections, right?
I have no idea.
You'd have to turn that, but that'll fit. Yeah, there you go. Whatever that is.
A shield looking like?
Well, so far, miniature paintbrush, the first two things she pulled out fits in there. Never had a chance to get a night for any of it, though. Those two boxes up there, that's all Warhammer models. That's more of my Marines up there. And of course, the Kill Team stuff, because I really enjoyed Kill Team. I actually like it more than standard Warhammer fight, just because it's faster paced and it's more turn based. Yeah.
I'm I'm downloading the last piece.
Okay. That's all you can do. Check and see. Check and see. But anyways, you guys, Meandering Mike. Hello, sir.
Hey, Mike.
Been a while since you meandered over. We're glad to see you. Hopefully your day is going good and you had a good day. We were chit-chatting earlier, sir, about, no politics, of course, but we were just chit-chatting about the tariffs. Yeah, Greg did some research. You missed all that, Andrew and Mike.
I'm able to print all those.
Okay, miniature paintbrush. She said it all fit. So all those pieces fit. I got to order some more resin on Tuesday. So, like, literally, if you just want to reimburse us for postage or something, well, I don't see why we couldn't help you out. So, Mike, the stuff I was talking about was how the tariffs affect our gaming hobby, like tabletop games, how it may affect that, and video games, because a lot of the people we talk to are video games, Xbox, PS5, how it's going to affect 3D printing. So we actually covered quite a bit, and I think we'll all be all right if we just kind of take a breath. We got, all of us in this hobby got lots to do, and I know I'm repeating myself, but Mike didn't hear it. So a lot of these manufacturers, they're already looking for other places, like you heard Apple. They're not going to sit by and lose money. They're just going to work around it all. You got a section of fence down. Instead of replacing it, you're going to put up a temporary private fence. Ooh, are you going to run like wires to it and electrify it? That'll give you privacy, Mike. People won't come up to the fence. By the way, what kind of fence is it? It's like a wooden fence, chain link fence, PVC fence. Well, I wouldn't know the amount of shipping until we go to ship it there, Miniatures Paintbrush, but she says it'll fit, so let's see what we can do for you and help you out. And even then, if it's not much, it don't matter. I wouldn't worry about it.
I say it's in the U.S. It shouldn't be, maybe 10 or 15 at the most?
Yeah.
Depending on how much it weighs. Because some of these pieces are nice and tiny. There's a couple big pieces.
Well, at least they fit, so. Yeah.
I'm sliced up right now.
She's getting them in the slicer, so it'll get it ready for print.
Well, the first piece is 6 hours and 16 minutes.
She said the small piece is 6 hours.
One of those gun-looking things.
Oh, come on, Mike. No electricity? See, man, that just takes all the fun out of it. Wow, 15-foot section. How did it go down? Did you have a storm? If you did, are you guys okay? Or, I mean, fences generally don't go down by themselves. That would be funny, especially though if you had a nosy neighbor. Wouldn't be leaning on your fence too much, would they? Jeez. Thankfully, on that end, we've been good. We haven't had no bad weather in the last 2 weeks or so, but we sure missed a heck of a bad storm the week before. It hit a lot of the other states. So very, very, very fortunate. And I think that's a good thing. Good God, Charles, that's a little graphic, but maybe. You can stand out there and get yourself, do like some cosplay there, Charles, dress up and hold a spear like you're a pikeman or something. People would be. Your fences just fall over because they're cursed? Uh, partially rotted section that you were going to get around to fixing and the wind took it out. Yeah. Using like 4x4 posts, Mike, like the green treated 4x4 for your supports and 2x4s in between. Yeah, Charles, I was thinking that just like electrical wire, that'd work. But Mike doesn't want to do that, so that's okay. Sometimes I'm tempted to do that. I have a small fenced area.
I can do it in 4 prints.
Yeah, just tell him you're researching historical gaming, Mike, and you were just building life-size models so that you could visually appreciate what was happening. I guess you can figure something out.
That one's gonna be hard to ship.
Why?
Because of all these little wires or hoses.
That'll be all right.
I'll have to try to find bubble wrap for that one.
We'll figure it out.
So in the box I put these in.
What?
Do a glitter bomb.
No, that wouldn't be good. Open the box. Poof. Surprise! Your parts are here.
Glitter and confetti. You would never get it out of anything.
No. Charles, interesting set of rules. Well, hopefully you can get it patched up there, Mike. I mean, one thing at a time, right, sir? One thing at a time. And
I probably.
What?
See if I could put the 2 guns onto one.
Dogs on leashes? Would it be more scarier if they weren't on leashes?
And maybe cut the tie back.
Yeah.
It looks like it's 2 pieces for the guns.
Miniature Paintbrush says he has a 6-year-old daughter. It's like having a glitter bomb. Yes, they are. Oh, hey, Antry, you're back.
We do.
Yes, we do 3D printing. Right here, if you look at the screen, see roughly where my finger's pointing. That's our Anycubic printer there. That's a wash and cure station.
And I have a resin one in our other room.
Here, show him, Ash. Hold on a second. And try. We'll show you this.
You have to turn it on.
I know. I have to do it. Hey, now don't get snippy. Jeez.
You're looking at me like, what you doing?
Oh, it's my mind. Okay, showing the screen. Ready? Off screen. Ash, he wants to see your 3D miniatures that you printed.
Oh.
That's what you're showing. Ready? Okay, hold on and try. We'll show you. So that's something that she printed up for. That's for one-page rules.
That's my one-page rules.
Yeah.
Here's a Warhammer figure that I printed. I've actually painted this one.
A Tyrannid.
That's a Tyrannid. Screamer Killer. Yep. One-page rules.
Ouch.
There. One-page rules.
We do not make custom models, Antry. Generally, we purchase the STL files online, and we have had a lot of them given to us too. So, like that particular robot,
all the little rats right here are all 3D printed.
Those are one-page rules right there. Her rats. That robot looking thing was for 1-page rules. Hey, Weird World War II.
This was from our filament. It's a dice tower.
Yeah, it's a Mario.
It was all gray. So I painted that. What else?
We do both, and try resin and filament. Weird World War II. Brian.
I am in the process of printing
resin
pieces. Yes, there's holes on top because it prints this way.
So she drains it.
Drains. Once I'm done, I'll put some tufts of grass or something on it. It should cover them up.
Antroy says, do you sell these? No. These are just ones we print for our gaming. Most of the things that you buy have a stipulation where you can't sell it anyways. So we don't sell them. We just, like, 1-page rules. Every month they release their STLs. If you're like on their Patreon, which we are, then we've got way more than our money's worth. I mean, I got an entire army.
I have a lot of files.
So there's just a lot of models on her desk there, and that's not even what you can see. Oh, you back to doing your splicing?
Yeah, because I can cut 6.5 hours off by combining two of them.
So, anyways, Antry, that's just some of them. We got quite a bit. I got models that are just nothing but 1-page rules. So if you look up those, the Human Defense Force, those we all printed.
I cut it down from 5 to 3.
Brian from Weird World War II says you could just flip the model on the plates here. Drain holes are on the bottom.
I don't like how with our printer it leaves the little trying to scrape them off. It sucks. So I don't have a problem with them being on top because I'll go and have some kind of flocking on it that will go and cover the holes.
It don't matter. You got the resin that'll fill that little hole.
Yeah, and I got a little bit of resin that I can fill it with.
That's just on that one. Generally, I mean, all the models we do, we try to make them hollow so they're not tearing up all the resin, especially as... Yeah, she moves it on the plate there. She kind of positions it where she needs it. So your resin, a couple of things back there. Weird World War II, you said 1,000 grams for $40.
Okay, hold on. He sent me 6 attachments, but I only got 5. Where's the 6th one?
Just a moment. I'm going to check on something here.
Oh, okay. That was the 6th one. Okay. It just brought up the same thing. All right. I'm good.
So our standard resin looks like it went up $2.
$3.
No, $2.09. Yeah, $3.
$3.
So for a liter, it's $19 instead of $16. So,
all right, those are ready to print. We just gotta wait until we get the money to get it printed, and then I will email you for your address and all that. So when we get them all done.
Oh, miniature paintbrush. Yep. All right. If you heard that, sir, she'll start working on those. And go back to bed. Get some sleep, man. We appreciate you coming by, but if it's after 3 in the morning there, get some rest before you have to get up. And every Sunday we're on Sunday at 4 p.m. Central.
So, Brian, with our printer, if you try to hollow it, it will just keep filling. It doesn't matter what direction it is. It will fill. So that's the problem when trying to do a hollow print. is if you don't have those ports, it will keep resin in there. And I did that once before I knew when I first started doing it. Keegan had one and there's some resin in there. It actually cracked the whole bottom and made it expand and just ruined the whole print I did for him and destroyed a lot of things of his. So luckily Keegan wasn't mad. What is Zella or Zelly?
Now, miniature paintbrush, we don't have that, but don't worry about it right now at this moment, man. We'll just get it printed up, and then we'll find out what the shipping is. Otherwise, she can start. You want to start on it tonight? Let it print tonight. You might have enough to start on the one piece.
Yeah, I could at least start up on one.
Yeah, she'll get one started for later. I think the smallest one is at least 6 hours.
7 hours, 21 minutes, 42 seconds.
What was the 6 hours? 16?
Nope, I combined them. I combined the two tall, like, gun pieces.
Oh, so you could do
into
that.
one. So
there you go. At least you'll have them then during the week. I mean, at least our resin only went up $3. So it's instead of $16, $15.98, $16. It's $19 for a bottle. So that ain't bad.
shit, I don't remember what hills.
No, he says to rotate the model. So I'll let you read that. Generally, all the ones she came out really well. I think that's the only ones. What other ones did you put a drain on? Oh, like your big guy for the one-page rules. That dude. I don't remember where you put the drain, but wasn't it underneath?
Yeah, he's on his belly.
Yeah.
There's like 2 or 3 of them on his belly.
Well, thanks for the tips there, sir. We'll try to figure it out. Sometimes it's just a matter of do it enough, but after a year and a half, 2 years, and now almost 2 years of printing on it, it's working out pretty well. It's a good printer, man. And if you have money to grab one before they go up, because for the short term, it's all gonna go up. And I think, Mr. We're in World War II, sir. Since you missed what we were talking about earlier, some of it's just going to be.
Where is my disc?
Just going to be price gouging. And he says resin trapped in the model will pop. So there's no resin in it.
That's why I make the holes.
She puts the drain holes or the weep holes in some of those, and the resin isn't in there. It's literally empty. Works out pretty good. Besides, you don't want to. Well, you know that. So I'm just saying in general, nobody really wants to print a solid resin.
Don't tell me my drive went.
What?
I think my port went.
Everyone needs to get one, huh?
Miracle of ports.
Yeah, if you can get a resin printer, they're just way more fun. All right. Eventually, everybody will. We're in World War II because that was one of the things a lot of people were. I was seeing on, like this is the end of gaming and all this stuff. It's not really the end of gaming. It's just going to be a delay. But again, companies are already sidestepping a lot of this stuff and just going somewhere else to get their things done cheaper, so they can continue their business. Yep, the drain holes are a must if you're hollowing out. Absolutely, it has to be.
4 and 1.
Has to have a way for it to drain.
All right, hold on. Nope, I think that port went.
All righty, you think it did, huh?
Yeah, because I put it in the other port, no problems.
Yeah.
I think my one port went.
You use it all the time.
Yeah.
So generally on those USB ports, you take the back off it. Sometimes it needs to be resoldered. Well, you guys, we're going to go ahead and end it here. so we can get some dinner and finish off our anniversary there.
Remote. Or
Hold on just a second. Weird World War II says he learned the hard way hollowing out some armored cars.
how thick are you making the walls?
No, he said a year later they popped.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we haven't had any models pop on us at all. Most of them are, but to be honest with you, Brian, most of ours are around the 28, 32 millimeter range. So there's just no, you need to haul those out. And on the big ones so far, never had a problem, thankfully. Tell Mel we said hi, though, sir. And Meandering Mike, have a good evening, sir. Good luck with your fence. We're going to go ahead and end this. And
all right, there we go.
Miniatures paintbrush.
It has started.
I think you can find me on Facebook. You can messenger me if you want. I think I'm still there. They haven't kicked me off of Facebook yet. But then again, I don't do anything to warrant that. I'm pretty just hanging around. But thank you, everybody, for showing up. We appreciate it. And those of you on the podcast listening to this later, thank you for all your support, too. And until next week, you guys, just enjoy life. It'll be okay. Ice Wolf, thank you for those files again, sir. And Weird World War II, stay weird. Otherwise, we won't recognize you. So
Bye,
you guys all
guys.
have a good day. Thank you. We will see you next week. Oh, our little video.